This is Hammond Organ for Beginners, an elementary tutorial series by me, Keith Appleton. This lesson covers keyboard intervals and the importance of practice. In a major scale, there are a sequence of intervals. Two tone intervals, followed by a semitone interval, a semitone being the smallest interval on the keyboard, then followed by another tone interval, and another tone interval, and yet another tone interval, before the semitone interval that takes you up to the octave. Major scales follow this pattern: TTS, TTTS, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And using this simple formula, you can calculate any scale. And while we're talking about scales, it's most important to be able to play the scales. By now, if you've been following this series, you should have been practicing, so you should be quite fluent and be able to do this. If you find when playing that you dither about and you're not sure what you're doing, it's time to do more practice. You only really get out what you put in. And practice can be boring and tedious, but I'm afraid I've never found a real substitute for it. Currently, I'm teaching myself to play the flute, and if you think this is difficult, try a flute. James Galway is quite safe for the moment. Here I'm playing what is called a chromatic scale. A chromatic scale plays all the semitones on the keyboard. Here I'm playing a chromatic scale starting on C, and you will notice the fingering, which is very important. It's mainly third finger and thumb doing all the work, except for the white notes E and F and C and B, when you need to bring your first finger into play. Practice it and get it fluent. Very important. I'm using this to show you the fact that there are 12 semitones in an octave, and what I'm doing at the moment, going between the two notes, is a good finger exercise. When you can do it at speed, you get it somewhere. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful.